Next up, we have June Sokolowski, who is going to be presenting on procurement, shop blue, and purchasing of supplies. June is amazing. I know from working with faculty, especially in some of the basic science units, that, gosh, she knows her stuff when it comes to working through all of the details of purchasing very unique instrumentation, which can be very foreign to many faculty and also central units. So June, thanks for taking the time to prepare this today. I do have your presentation. I'll pull it up right now and feel free to get started.
Hi there. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Good morning and welcome on how to purchase your scientific needs. My name again is June Sokolowski and I'm the director of the scientific procurement team. Today we will be discussing who we are, our strategic sourcing, our purchasing options and dollar thresholds, our international orders, and what's coming. Jill, you can go to the next slide, or do you want me to move forward? Next one. Next. So our mission here at Purchasing and Contract Services, as Chris enunciated on, is really to prioritize our customer service and collaboration and to provide for our research end users. Really, again, our focus is on collaborating and continuous improvement and our customer-centric focus to our end users. Next, please. Next slide. So we aim really to deliver exceptional customer service to empower our faculty, staff, and students in advancing our research, clinical activities, and economic development initiatives. Next, please. So how will we achieve these strategic priorities? Through strategically sourcing your scientific needs with streamlined processes, such as our Shop Blue marketplace and our contracts and our supplier optimization. This will only provide a higher quality of goods and service to our end users and will strategize through cost reduction and risk mitigation, which will reinforce our supportive partnerships with our end users and our vendors, and also to strengthen our innovative thinking and positive outcomes. Next, please. So the scientific team procures all scientific commodities, including capital equipment or specialized equipment and basic equipment, including consumables, analysis, and maintenance agreements and repairs. Both of these really go hand in hand, but the method of how we procure does not, a one-size-fits-all approach does not. So some basic questions that the department should be addressing is, what type of funding source will you be utilized? Have you performed your due diligence and attained the appropriate quotes? Have you performed the correct justification, whether it's a single source? And single source is when there are two or more vendors that can provide a good or service for that similar product. A sole source justification when there is only one vendor that can provide that product. Your justification really needs to include what technical specs do not meet your research criteria. Next, please. So how do we strategically source our basic equipment, consumables, and our MRO? These are our high volume, low dollar items. On a typical day, we get between 80 to 100 requests on campus. So your basic equipment needs include your balances, your pH meters, your pipetters, your everyday chemicals, your consumables are your gloves and your tips, and then your maintenance agreements and your repairs. Next, please. So there is an order of procurement precedents that we need to navigate with SUNY and New York State. And our first line is to utilize our preferred sources, such as New York State Industry for the Blind or Disabled, our minority and women-owned businesses, such as laboratory product sales, and our service-disabled, veteran-owned businesses. Our primary utility that we use is our New York State OGS centralized contracts, and those are going to be our shop blue punch-outs, which include such as Fisher Scientific, Crackler, and laboratory product sales. We also rely on the SUNY-wide VWR contract, and then we also will utilize the open market, which is strategic sourcing and obtaining quotes or sole and single source justification. Next, please. So there are two options that UB utilizes. Our e-procurement system is the Shop Blue system and the P-card. Next, please. So for a good option for a one-time small purchase is the P-card. For the state funding threshold, the limit is at $4,999. For RF and UBF is $2,500. All transactions must be reasonable and must be appropriate to the grant or account. Next, please. So our Shop Blue system is really a one-stop shopping experience where approvals, receivers, and payments can be completed in a shared marketplace. Efficiency is maximized in automated order, delivery, invoicing, and payment to our suppliers. Next, please. And here are some of our scientific showcases. Please let us know if you are interested in other punch-out catalogs. Please reach out to us, and we will hopefully entertain and provide for you. Next, please. For our purchasing dollar thresholds, at this limit up to $22,499 for all funded sources, state, RF, and UBF, all prices must be reasonable, and that will include one quote or product specification. Keep in mind that if a vendor is not in our supplier file, this will take 3 to 5 business days. Next, please. For this threshold for state, we request 2 quotes or a product spec. For RF and UBF, 1 quote or product spec. Next, please. At the $10,000 limit to $49,999 for state and UBF, we require 2 or 3 quotes. For RF is just 1 quote or product spec. Next, please. So how do we strategically source our capital equipment and specialized scientific? These typically involve high dollar amounts, such as our MRIs, our centrifuges, our robotics and genomics devices. The focus is really primarily on the $50,000 threshold, and that's where the state requirements become a bit more complex. Next, please. So again, we must follow the order of precedence. There are many New York State OGS centralized contracts, such as those listed. However, much of the equipment that you are purchasing is not on contract. When it is on contract, it is much more simpler to purchase on state funds. Although we also have the ability to use our SUNY-wide contracts, such as VWR and Medline, our educational consortia and healthcare contracts, E&I Cooperative and Premier, and then we can utilize our discretionary authority for MWBEs, such as laboratory product sales and Cura Medical, or our SDVOBs. We also, with none of those criteria are met, we will have a formal competitive bid, either an invitation for bid or a request for proposal. We have the ability to use our discretionary authority and can utilize our sole or single source abilities. But most likely, this will be a sourcing event, a strategic sourcing event. Next, please. So at the $50,000 threshold, state purchases require advertisement in the New York State Contract Reporter. This will take 15 business days. 3 quotes need to be solicited. For RF and UBF require no contract report advertisement. For RF is 2 quotes and UBF is 3 quotes. Next, please. At the 75,000 threshold, there is a major change that has been enacted as for New York State enacted this legislation 2 years ago, where we require pre-approval by the Attorney General's office and Office of the State Controller is required. Approval, they can take up to 75 days. Please keep that in mind. Still, 3 quotes are required. For RF, 2 quotes, and UBF is 3 quotes. Next, please. At the $125,000 threshold, the major change here is we no longer have the ability to utilize our discretionary authority, except when it comes to a different threshold for our MWBEs and SDVOBs. We still need to advertise in the contract reporter. 5 sealed bids are necessary. For RF is 2 quotes, and UBF requires 3 quotes. Next, please. At the $250,000 threshold, again, requirements are the same. Although, again, we no longer have the discretionary authority. This will most likely, besides our consortia contracts, this will be a sourcing event, an IFB and RFP. 5 sealed bids are needed for state. For RF and UBF requires a solicitation of a minimum of 3 written bids or proposals. Next, please. I don't think there is a time when you're watching the news that you don't hear about what's going on with the tariffs, and especially what is happening with our impact on tariffs for the scientific community. Procurement is working diligently to try to minimize the cost of these tariffs to our end users. But however, we ask that you may want to consider, is there a U.S. distributor or another U.S. alternative? If not, we totally understand when it comes to specialized equipment or even your consumables. If you elect to choose an international foreign vendor, keep in mind that the quote should at least be in U.S. dollars. And also, many foreign vendors will require 100% down payment in advance. This is not allowable. Also, to keep in mind, many will not accept our P card. Next, please. So there are 2 types of goods or entry valuations. An informal entry is when the purchase is under $2,500, and a formal entry is when it is over $2,500. For those formal entries, it requires a customs broker. In determination of what your duty or tariffs or fees are going to be, it's based on the description of your good, which is utilized a harmonization tariff schedule or HTS code, along with the country of origin that you are importing your goods and services from. Below are listed some of our frequently used tariffs. I do want to point out currently right now, China has a 30% tariff that's been in effect since August 11th. There is a 90-day pause on that. Keep in mind, this past February, there was a 145% tariff in place. So please reach out to procurement and we can help and assist you on that. Next, please. So proper documentation is required in filing with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, or CPB. UB utilizes a customs broker, FedEx Logistics. This is the only customs broker that can be utilized. A vendor may utilize their own importer of record, and they can handle it all. Keep in mind when you're using our FedEx broker that any fees, duties, invoices is the responsibility of the department. Next, please. So what we're seeing as far as across the board on our scientific goods are a cost increase of around 10 to 20%. We are seeing it in tariff line surcharge onto an invoice that we're seeing. I do want to make you aware there is an international agreement called the Florence Agreement that provides for duty-free entry of educational, scientific, and cultural materials. There is a tariff exemption form called the Form ITA-338P. We have quite a few in place right now, 4 or 5 of them. These are completed by the department end users and submitted to CPB with 5 copies. We ask that you work with a vendor to justify why there isn't an equivalent domestic manufactured that cannot provide for your research capabilities. And again, we will work closely with you to guide you through this process. Next, please. So what's new and coming to purchasing and contract services? We have right now, I'm happy to say, we have a 5-year contract in place for our specialty gases and liquids that is awaiting approval. It is with OSC right now. Airgas won the award for specialty gases and liquids, and Han Welding won the award for dry ice. Yesterday, we launched our Amazon Punch Out in Shop Blue, and below are some vendors that we are hoping to have listed in our Punch Out early of 2026. Next, please. Here are some of our frequently used scientific vendors. Next, please. I want to note that UB Business Days will be happening November 12th of this year, and that will be held at the Niagara Falls Convention Center again. Also, Procurement Services is hosting Procure Local, which is for our MWBE vendors on September 23rd for Center for the Arts. Next, please. Here are, and again, procurement is here to help and assist you and enhance your experience. Here are a bunch of helpful links from how to contact a procurement to AP to thresholds. Next, please. Again, here's our scientific team. We are a team of 6, the mighty 6, that handles all your purchasing needs. And next, please. Are there any questions?
Thank you, June, very much.
Thank you.
June, I want to say that you and your team get shout outs all the time, and I'm not sure if investigators pass that along, but you should know that I hear it with on a regular basis. So
very appreciative. And again, just have them reach out if they are new here. We will come to their lab and help them navigate what works on campus, what doesn't work, and just whatever to help them with their needs.